The ability to georeference a project is absolutely essential when I need to export that project in IFC format, or simply to coordinate my work very effectively with my design partners. So here comes Allplan 2026 with a whole series of very innovative new features, both regarding georeferencing and the IFC format. It's worth mentioning the ability to define a survey point, a base point, the option to set a concept of true north, and at the same time to define a so-called CRS, that is, a system that establishes coordinates on a map which essentially correspond to real-world positions on Earth. To this end, I've prepared a brief example for you. Here, in this specific case, I'll show you directly from the environment palette where we are located. Here we are in Munich near our headquarters, the Nemetschek house. Okay? So when I take a measurement of my model, I get a series of extremely large real-world coordinates, which we can also see here in the output, directly in the form of a label. At this point, I can go ahead and activate this feature, which allows me to define specific information for the CRS of my project. I can set the global point, the survey point, and the base point. Let's start by defining the survey point, which I choose to place here at the intersection of these two streets. Next, we define the true north, and to make this easier, in addition to entering a numerical value, I have prepared a symbol that I can detect directly. After that, I could define a base point by detecting it directly from my model. By doing this, the program automatically applies an offset to my project. All this information can also be represented graphically using specific points. When I go to remeasure the point previously measured, we see that we have a concept of XYZ coordinates with or without offset, operations that in the past were carried out directly within the project settings. A key aspect is the ability to export my model while taking into account all the specific parameters regarding coordinates. This means I can perform an export that complies with the Alessi map conversion of BD Smart, or I can do an export that allows me to apply offsets or rotations that come directly from the true north angle or from a custom rotation angle relative to the base point, the reference point, or the all-plan origin. When I export my model, what do I get? If I switch to the plan view, I notice, for example, that in this case I exported my model by applying a rotation angle relative to my base point, with a specific angle that I defined completely freely within the IFC export settings.